So today we're going to continue in our series about Kedushas Eretz Yisrael, and Be'ezras Hashem Yisbarach we're going to discuss Yeridas Avram LeMitzrayim, Avram Avinu's being forced to leave Eretz Yisrael and going down to Mitzrayim, and Be'ezras Hashem will try to develop a hashkafa of how a person is supposed to view times where they can't live in Eretz Yisrael and can't be in Eretz Yisrael. So let's look in Parshas Lech Lecha, Perek Yud Beis. Avram Avinu fulfills the commandment of Lech Lecha, of leaving behind his family, his society, his land, his culture, his language, and he comes into Eretz Yisrael. He makes a mizbeach. HaKadosh Baruch Hu appears to him for the first time in a very high level of nevuah. He begins to travel around Eretz Yisrael, and why he's traveling, the pasuk tells us, Vayihi ra'av ba'aretz, vayered Avram Mitzrayma, lagur sham ki kaved harav ba'aretz. And behold, there was a famine in the land, and Avram Avinu went down to Mitzrayim to dwell there because the famine was very heavy. So the Meforshim point out a few very important things. Rashi says that Ra'av Ba'aretz, what does a famine in the land mean? A famine only in Eretz Yisrael. And this was all designed l'nasaso, to test him. If he will question or doubt the words of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So Rashi tells us that it was, the nisayon was that it was only in Eretz Yisrael. All other lands were fine, were not affected. Only Eretz Yisrael was affected by the Rav. Now the Medrash additionally tells us that not only was it only Eretz Yisrael which was affected by the famine, but this was the first famine that ever afflicted the world. So, and not only was it the first famine that afflicted the world, but as the pasuk repeats again, Ki kaved harav, it was a very heavy famine. So, the Ramban has a very interesting interpretation of this pasuk, and let's read the entire thing. And he says, Hinei Avram yarad leMitzrayim mipnei harav lagur sham lachios Nafsho b'yemei Abitzeres. Avram Avinu went down to Mitzrayim to dwell there, to keep himself alive during the time of drought. V'hamitzrim ashkuo so chinam lakachas es ishto, and the Mitzrim abused him for nothing to take his wife. V'HaKadosh Baruch Hu nakam nikmasam b'nigoyim gedolim, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu avenged Avram Avinu with great afflictions on the Mitzrim. V'otzio misham b'mikneh b'kesev u'bezav, and he took him out of Mitzrayim with cattle, with silver, with gold. V'gam tziva alav Paro anashim l'shalcham, and also Paro commanded people to send them out and take them out. V'ramaz elav, and it was alluded to Avram Avinu, ki banav, his children, yardu Mitzrayim mipnei harav lagur sham, that his children also would have to go down to Mitzrayim to dwell there. V'amitzrim yir'u lahem, the Mitzrim will do bad to them. V'yichu mehem hanashim, and they will take away their wives. Kasher amar, like it says, v'kol habas tichyun, let all the girls live and let all the baby boys be thrown into the Nile. The Mitzrim's intention of allowing the girls to live was that they should have more wives to marry. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu would avenge them against the Mitzrim with great and powerful punishments. Until they would leave Mitzrayim heavily laden with cattle, with silver, with gold, with tzon, with sheep and bakar. And the Mitzrim put pressure on them to leave the land. Nothing which happened to Avram Avinu didn't happen to his children. And this whole idea is explained in Bereishis Rabbah, as it says, Rabbi Pinchas b'shem Rabbi Oshia, Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu LaAvram. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Avram, say ukvosh es haderech lifnei vanecha, go pave the way for your sons. V'atamot say kol ma shekasav ba'Avram kasav b'banav. Everything which it says happened to Avram Avinu happened to his children. And now the Ramban says something different though. Now listen to this. Vida ki Avram Avinu chata chet Gadol b'shgaga shevi ishto hatzadekes b'michshal avon mipnei pachto pen yarguhu. Avram Avinu sinned a great sin by accident, by bringing his wife, this tzaddikus, in this precarious situation, and in sin. She could have done a sin, because he was afraid lest he be killed. And he should have trusted that Hashem yatziloto ves ishto ves kol ashelo. Ki yesh belokim koyach lazor latzil. He should have trusted that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will save him, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu has the power to help and to save. Gam yitziaso min haaretz, and also his leaving the land, shenitztaveh aleh b'tchila, which he was commanded to go to in the first place. Mipnei harav, from the famine. Avon asher chata, is a sin which he did. Ki Elokim b'rav yivdelo mimavis. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he can save him from death. Val hamaseh hazeh, and according to the Ramban, because of this maseh, nigzar al zaro, his children were sentenced to go to Galus, Be'eretz Mitzrayim, Biyad Paro. B'makom hamishpat shama arasha ve'achet. So according to the Ramban, and he's